Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And I got a story for you, a very disturbing one straight out of Florida, where a family member, a daughter, ended up committing allegedly murder and killing her mother. And there is tons of chaos and disruption going on throughout our cities and our states. However, there's quite a bit going on within the four walls of many of our homes here in America due to stress, anxiety, mental illness, and a caveat of other things that are taking place. So let's get into it. This is a very disturbing story, and mental illness is real. Daughter said she cut out her mother's heart because she wanted to inspect it, police say. A 58-year-old woman in Florida has been arrested for allegedly killing her own mother in gruesome fashion, cutting out the elderly woman's heart and leaving it in the hallway for police to find. I can't make this stuff up. Erlene M. Tucker was taken into custody last week and charged with one count of first-degree premeditated murder in the slaying of Lucille Tucker, court records revealed by Law and Order Crime Show. According to a probable cause affidavit, officers with the Tallahassee Police Department at about 1:15 p.m. on March 6 responded to a residence located in the 2300 block of Hartsfield Way after receiving a call regarding a naked woman outside the home attempting to get into a delivery driver's vehicle. A second call came in from someone who told the dispatcher that the naked woman was her mother and she was refusing to come into the house and put clothes on. Upon arriving, first responders located the woman, later identified as Erlene Tucker, still naked outside of her townhouse. Police said she began rambling about free will as officers attempted to coax her into the residence to put clothes on. A short while later, Erlene Tucker told the officers to take her to the police station, saying, "I have committed a grievous and gruesome crime." She then agreed to go inside and put on a robe. Officers accompanied her into the home where they said she stood over an apparent human organ that was on the ground about 8 feet inside the door. When officers asked what it was, Erlene Tucker allegedly began breathing heavily and grunting. That's when an officer looking for clothing went into a room and found a woman later identified as Lucille Tucker, dead from an apparent chest trauma. Police said Erlene Tucker sat down on the couch and laughed nervously before continuing to ramble. "It cannot end. It will not end," she said, per the affidavit. "The saga will continue. People, until I am in a jail cell, I have to be in prison for my actions." A family member told police that Erlene Tucker was a healthcare worker and Lucille had moved in with her at the Hartsfield Way home because her health had been declining. The family member further revealed that about 30 to 40 years earlier, Erlene Tucker had been hospitalized for mental health issues and was hospitalized with similar issues a second time about 15 years ago. In an interview at police headquarters, detectives said Erlene mostly rambled before saying that she could not speak with a white man, but would be willing to tell anything to a black person. So a black detective then took over the interview. During that interview, Erlene told the detectives she had discovered through investigation that she was a white woman and she could not give up power and control to a black man, the affidavit states. Erlene then spontaneously uttered, "I killed my mother." Erlene continued to ramble about killing her mother, saying she was a sacrificial lamb and that she was going to die in there with her. She allegedly confessed a second time later in the interview. She said, "I murdered my mom in that house," per the affidavit. "She was mean to me, but I didn't care. I loved her black color, but she didn't love mine." After officials formally placed Erlene Tucker under arrest, they said she made a statement referencing cutting out her mother's heart to inspect it, then talked to herself almost nonstop for hours. Authorities later confirmed that the organ found in the home was Lucille Tucker's heart. Erlene Tucker appeared in court on Friday and entered a plea of not guilty. She is currently being held in the Leon County Detention Facility without bond. It was not immediately clear when she is scheduled to appear in court again. Man, what a crazy story that I came across, and I just felt a need to do a video synopsis about it. And this happened in Tallahassee, Florida. For those of my followers and those that do follow me, if you remember, I also did a story in Florida about a valedictorian out of high school, a male, who was attending the University of Florida as a pre-med student, where he came home from college for a weekend to see his mother, and he ended up stabbing his mother over 60 times, saying that he never liked his mother. And now we have another scenario where this young lady, 58 years old, around my age, where she ended up killing her mother and then somehow cut her heart out. How she was able to do that, what utensils she used, is just beyond measure. But my point is not to make light of these kinds of stories, but I'm seeing a very high preponderance of individuals that are in desperate need of mental health help, um, have high levels of stress and anxiety, may be diagnosed with multiple personality disorders, schizophrenia, bipolar. There's something like 25% of the U.S. population that has diagnosed or undiagnosed mental illness that fits in that framework. And instead of getting adequate treatment for it, there are many people that are walking around that are suffering. And then they are lashing out and committing heinous crimes against their own family members. So I told you there was a story about a pre-med student. He was valedictorian of his high school. He comes home on a weekend from college at the University of Florida, and he stabs his mother over 60 times, saying that he never liked her. She got on his nerves. And now you have this scenario with Erlene Tucker, who allegedly killed her mother and then excavated her heart out of her mother's body and left it in a hallway. Mental illness is real. There's a lot of chaos and disruption throughout our cities and our states, but there is a lot of stress and anxiety and chaos and disruption that's taking place in the four walls of many homes. And if you're a family member, a friend, and you see that people are breaking down mentally, reach out, try to help them. Maybe there was no way out of this particular situation. It sounds like mental illness has been running in this young lady's family for a long time, and she's had breakdowns before. But it's very unfortunate that she ended up in a position that sounds like she was completely delusional and probably did not have any intent on killing her mother, but that's what the end result was. And then not only did she murder her mother, but she also excavated her heart out of her mother's body. What a tragic story. There are many people out here suffering and need help. We need to put mental illness at the top of the medical paradigm and help as many people as possible.